Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to really get into this stack of sources you've sent over. It gives us quite the snapshot of what's happening globally and nationally, right around early July 2025.
Yeah, it's a real mix. Everything from political shifts in Pakistan right through to the U.S. economy.
Exactly. And our mission today really is to pull out the key insights, try and connect those dots for you, and help make sense of not just what's happening, but, why it matters. Go beyond the headlines a bit.
Precisely. Looking at how these maybe subtle shifts in power, political, diplomatic, economic, are creating these ripples across the globe right now this July, adding that context.
Okay, good. Let's unpack this, starting with Pakistan. The Election Commission just distributed reserved seats, and this gives the ruling coalition a 2/3 majority. That sounds, well, significant.
Oh, it absolutely is. The real kicker here is what that kind of majority allows. It basically means the ruling coalition is mostly PMLN, PPP, and JUIF. They could potentially push through constitutional amendments.
Without needing to sort of buy votes like in the past.
Exactly. That's been a historical thing. This decision, it follows a recent Supreme Court ruling, and it just fundamentally changes the political arithmetic, the number game, across the provinces.
So thinking about that historical pattern you mentioned, where national power often gets cemented by, well, messing with provincial governments, does this redistribution risk shaking up the whole federal structure? Or is it just, politics as usual?
That's a really good question. If you look specifically at Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, or KP, the opposition there just jumped massively, from 27 seats to 54.
Wow, doubled in a 120-seat assembly.
Right, so this surge now poses a direct threat to the PTI government currently running that province. It could potentially be toppled.
And that echoes past plays.
It really does. It fits a pattern we've seen in Pakistan since 1988, really, where provincial governments get reshuffled to help solidify power at the national level. So maybe less about fundamental instability, more a predictable power move.
Okay. Now, shifting gears to the international stage. I found the Quad ministers meeting in the U.S. really interesting. They condemned the Pulwama attack.
Yes, a major incident.
But they didn't name Pakistan. What's your read on that silence?
Well, if you connect the dots, that silence, however subtle, is being seen as a bit of a diplomatic win for Pakistan.
And maybe a setback for India? Even though they're key in the Quad?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Especially since the Quad is largely seen as, countering China in the Pacific.
Yeah.
It might suggest the U.S. is sort of re-engaging with Pakistan again, maybe driven by shifting U.S. interests there.
Interesting.
And don't forget, Pakistan also just took over the UN Security Council presidency for July. That's quite a platform for a non-permanent member.
Right. This global recalibration seems to tie into the economy, too. There's a lot of noise about the U.S. dollar. Your sources say it